was right to drop those bombs Saturday night?
Look, I will, of course, agree that ending Iran's nuclear program would be a real positive for the region and for the United States. Exactly how we went about it, the lack of consultation with Congress, the lack of advance notice, I think was a mistake. And we don't know for sure what the real objective of the administration is. We had on the same day Vice President Vance on a Sunday show saying we are really only focused on ending the enrichment program. And then the president tweeting about maybe regime change isn't such a bad thing. I think it's important to move to diplomacy, to find a way to make the ceasefire hold, and to get Israel and Iran, the United States and our European partners at the table to secure a permanent end to Iran's dangerous effort to enrich uranium to bomb levels and develop a nuclear weapon.
Okay, not a perfect metaphor, but to me, it's like saying, all right, somebody ran into a building burning and saved my puppy and brings the puppy out. And I say, well, I didn't like the way you saved the puppy. There's some things you didn't get my permission before you saved the puppy. And I didn't like the way you came out of the building. And I've got questions now about whether the puppy might run back into the building. Like, again, bad politics, bad policy. Rally around the commander in chief, rally around Israel, rally around the success. If you want to raise objections to the process, if you want to worry about what happens next, by all means, First Amendment. And if you got a principal objection, raise it. But his lack of credit to the president is striking to me. And again, the Republicans did the same thing to Democratic presidents. Here's Chris Coons also on this question of NATO. President Trump singularly has been a force for the voices of tens of millions of Americans. NATO countries need to contribute more to the defense of themselves and of the NATO alliance. Here is Chris Coons asked again on Morning Joe, what's going on? He's at the NATO meeting that President Trump's going to. What's going on in NATO regarding spending by these other countries?
The talk of the town here at the NATO summit is the commitment of all 32 members to significantly step up their investment in defense, in joint support for Ukraine's fight for freedom against Russian aggression, and in our European allies and partners taking on more of the military burden of collective security here in Europe.
Talk of the town in NATO. Yeah, the talk of the town in NATO is Donald Trump forced the NATO countries to contribute something tens of millions of Americans wanted, a very clear campaign promise. People like Chris Coons said it would destroy NATO, and now he's saying, matter-of-factly, this is great with no credit to the president. I'll say again, in matters of national security in particular, we'd be in a better country if people celebrated the success of our presidents, the things that made us stronger, even if it was politically beneficial to the president. They should do it on Iran. No matter what happens with the deal, President Trump did it. He effectively did it. And they should be celebrating the achievement, or at least partial achievement, of a long-held bipartisan goal.